up is Robbie from Spenlow.
I always don't like them. Use that my jaw muscles. Alright, my name's Robert MacArthur. I was at Spenlow this summer. Spenlow is an online and mobile marketplace that connects consumers and local service professionals. And the main value added is that the consumer has the ability to name their price on services. And I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Sorry. My name, again, is Robert MacArthur. I was born in Toronto, Canada. I'm 21 years old. I go to University of Florida, so I'm a huge Gator fan, obviously. I studied information systems at the Warrington Business College. And in my spare time, I like to cheer on the Gators. In that particular picture, I'm very hot in the swamp. That's actually a noon game, which, lately all our games are being noon, so there's no fun there. And so a little about Spenlow. This is actually a sneak peek at our website. Consumers, it uses a flat design. Consumers log into the website and they post their to-do, which is what we call our jobs. And the providers, they compete into reverse auction setting, and that's to reduce the cost, and the consumer has an ability to pick from the bids. And this is the team. We have Corey, Kristen, and Elise. And Kristen and Elise actually came to see me graduate today. It was very nice of them. And what actually makes to the Spenlow team really unique is that each person has their own set of skills, and we come together and create our business idea. So I guess you could say Corey, he's the founder and CEO. You can say he's like a visionary. He's the guy with the plan. He's like the face of Spenlow. You could say Kristen, she was my direct supervisor. She, you could say, makes the idea practical for a business. Elise, she's a really good person with a lot of my projects. She, you could call her the executioner. Not the executioner like this. That was supposed to be a joke. I was supposed to say executor and say not executioner, but I jumped the gun there. She's not the executioner. She executes the ideas. She makes real nitpicky things like happen. Here we are being goofy in our office, and these two girls, they literally read each other's minds. Maybe they go on Skype and text messages each other, but they seem to know what they're thinking like 80% of the time. It's awkward. So this is our office. We're actually on the second floor of the Delray Beach Public Library, and there's like a little co-working space up there. As you can see, it's not so glamorous. Like our walls are literally bookshelves, but it was quiet for the most part, and we had like a little conference room here, which is where we usually had our meetings and stuff. It's just a couple chairs in a circle, but it was an interesting place to work. And it's about my responsibility what I should do. A lot of the time I spent, getting iced coffee and donuts to these girls. Alright, my main job, I actually customized and set up Salesforce, which is a software CRM company. And the CRM system is a customer resource management software. And that's where, a company can manage your customers, manage your, in our case, service providers and customers, and manage their jobs. And, my main job was setting this up. And it was a very long process. I actually greatly underestimated it. When I first got in there, I'm like, oh, this won't take me too long. And then, I literally just wrapped that up like this week. And, this is some of the things I had to do. We had to map out all the processes. It's a big transition from putting like the idea of a business and the process of a business and putting it in this CRM system. So I had flow charts. This is like the chart I used to put the business in Salesforce terms. Making phone calls to Salesforce representatives, not always fun. And I actually ended up having a very large manual with everything I did is documented as I go. And this is the final product. This is what the Salesforce looks like. The top screen here, that's our database of leads, which is growing, and that's one of the main things we actually want to use Salesforce for, is for soliciting pros, lead management. And that's a screen I was looking. That's a screen I was looking at pretty much all day. Actually, ended up getting like a sense of comfort in it near the end. When I brainstorm, I just stare at the screen. It's like I generate more ideas to look at that thing than I even in the shower maybe. But what I learned, this is something I think about a lot, is the amount of experience, a lot of things I learned in this internship and with, Gerard and Beck. It's hard to put in one slide. So, Spenlo, I learned that, it's okay to make mistakes, because, it's inevitable, especially in the starting industry, and especially with my particular job, is, the CRM system. If you would have seen it, like the first, couple weeks I was playing with it, the final product, the amount of difference, I look back and like, why would I do that now? And it's okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from those mistakes. And it's also okay to ask for help, use resources. My first couple weeks there, I was just like, playing around with the system myself, trying to learn it, just like using no resources at all. And one day, Kristen's like, it's Google. So I just go on Google, and like, that's a good resource, like especially if people want to help you. There's so many people out there with etc. just want to help you. And with Meg and Gerard specifically, and the other interns, of course. The key thing I learned is like throughout the week, I'd be like doing my own thing with Spenlo, and I wouldn't think much of it other than this is my job. Then at the end on Friday we get together and we start talking about what we did like for the whole week. And once we're starting to share it, like what we've been doing, that's when I realized like I'm actually making a pretty big difference in this company. Like the job I'm doing here is actually meaningful, and it actually took like this little think group, to realize that. And of course, every Friday we had entrepreneurs come in and they would share our stories with us. And I didn't think entrepreneurship was like puppy dogs and ice cream, but like the actual amount of commitment and like hardships like some of these entrepreneurs go through is like it's interesting. Everybody has their own story, their own interesting story, and the path isn't always easy. You just gotta stick with it. And I'm gonna wrap up my presentation with like some food for thought. This is a quote by Reid Hoffman. He's like co-founder of LinkedIn, and he said that a startup is like jumping off a cliff and building a plane on the way down. And this is the quote that initially got me interested in startups, because I was like that. That's innate, And my experience here with Spenlo and with Meg, like I get really, it's true, like you really going as you go, and like the turbulence is like so exciting. And I had a great time this summer, and thank you.
Awesome.